Unit 5 Soil Groups of India. This is part 4 of Unit 5 Soil. So, this is the loose material and uppermost layer of Earth's crust. Again, it is an important natural resource formed due to weathering of rocks. That is the base material which provides nutrients and water to plants and a living surface for most of the human beings. Next comes factors affecting soil formation: climate, vegetation, age of rock, relief, or simply slope. Next comes lastly the parent rock. So types of soils. So in there are 8 major types of soil according to Indian Council of Agricultural Research: alluvial soil, black soil, red soil, laterite soil, desert soil, mountain soil, saline and alkaline soil, peaty and marshy soil. So here this is the alluvial soil is formed by the deposition of alluvium, and in India we are having 15 lakh square kilometers that contributes greatly to agricultural development. So we are having major 2 types of alluvial soil: Kadar and Banga. So Kadar is a new alluvium soil, so that will be sandy pale brown in composition, that will be found in lower areas near plains of river. Then it is flooded every year, which means the flood water carries this kind of Kadar soil to the places where it is deposited. Next comes alluvial soil of Banga type. So here it is older alluvium. So here it will be having maximum portion of clay, it will be dark in color, it is coarse in nature, it will be containing lime modules or kankar in Hindi, pebbles and gravels, represents riverine alluvium of Himalayan rivers. So this kind of soil that will be present in the regions near Himalayan floodplains. Then next, the regions of alluvial soil are thickly populated and intensely cultivated. Because of the richness present in the soil, it will be able to give good fertility to the crops. Next, characteristics. So again, the alluvial soil is a transported soil. This is not a soil which is formed in the place of its parent rock and it is staying over there, but this is a soil which is formed from a very distant place, and it is being transported through river flood, water, glacier movement and wind. So the soil is having coarser texture in upper section and finest in the delta region. The coarser soil will be available very near to the mountains where it is formed, and the finest of the soil will be available in the delta regions of the rivers which are flowing through the hilly region. The next comes light to dark in color. So the color varies from light and to the dark. Next comes rich. The soil will be rich in potash and humus. The soil is again poor in phosphorus and nitrogen. The soil is very high fertile and good for crops, for example kharif and rabi. The next, crops. So what are the crops which is cultivated? Rice, wheat, sugarcane, cotton, jute. The areas which is predominantly available is Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam, parts of Orissa and delta regions of southern India. So this is the image showing the alluvial soil present in India. Next comes black soil. So this is also known as rigor or black cotton soil. So this will be dark gray to black in color. So it will be having very high clay content. It will be having very high moisture retention property, and it develops cracks in summer, and it covers almost 5.4 lakh square kilometer in Indian region. Highly suitable for cotton plantation. The soil will be rich in iron, lime, calcium, magnesium, carbonates and alumina and aluminum salts. But again the soil is poor in phosphorus, nitrogen and organic matter. The soil is black in color because it is having its volcanic origin, which means this soil is directly related to volcanoes. and created from igneous rock. So that is the reason why it is called as Rigar soil. So the area which is having this soil in India is Maharashtra, Western Madhya Pradesh, parts of Andhra Pradesh, Northern Karnataka, and parts of Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan. So the suitable crops for this soil is cotton, sugarcane, groundnut, millets, rice, wheat, oil seeds. Red soil. Red soil is formed due to weathering of old crystalline rocks in the areas of low rainfall. So when there is very less rainfall, the rocks are prone to very high sunlight and heat. And due to this process, the rock will start weathering and the rock will start expanding and shrinking continuously and resulting in flakiness, and this flakes will result in quick formation of smaller particles that will be carried away by wind and rain. And more, it will be more sandy and less clayey, but the soil will be rich in iron and small amount of humus will be present, because the soil is from dry region, the humus content will be very less. The again the soil is poor in phosphorus, nitrogen and lime, slightly acidic and do not retain moisture. So if there is a rain, the red soil will not be able to retain moisture for a very long time. And in India we are having it for a area of 3.5 lakh square kilometer. The soil is porous and friable. Next comes area. So the red soil is present in Tamil Nadu, southern Karnataka, parts of Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, western Bengal, eastern Rajasthan, northeastern states. And the suitable crops for this red soil is ragi, groundnut, millet, tobacco, potato, rice, wheat, and sugarcane. This is the image example of red soil. It looks yellow when it is in the hydrated form. When it is mixed with water, the red color is because due to the diffusion of iron from iron oxide in the crystalline and metamorphic rocks. Laterite soil. The Latin word represents laterite means brick. So, which means this kind of soil is formed under high temperature and rainfall with wet and dry spell, which means the temperature will be high, then there will be a rainfall, and again the temperature goes very high, makes the region dry, and again there will be a rainfall. So there will be repeated action of these two things again and again, resulting this kind of soil. So here the silica is leached due to high rainfall, which means the silica content in that particular soil will be penetrated by iron molecules and clay molecules. Remnants of iron and aluminum oxides will be left behind, is known as laterite. So the soil will be brown to yellowish in color, becomes hard when exposed to atmosphere, which means the silica molecule combined with iron and aluminum oxides, when it is wet, that will become as a bonded material, and when it is exposed to the atmospheric heat, that will become as a very hard rock, which means not hard rock, that will be similar to a hard rock, and it can be directly used as a building material. So this is the example image of the laterite soil. Then laterite soil will be rich in iron, poor in lime, potash and magnesium, occupies almost 2.4 lakh square kilometers of Indian region. The humus content in the laterite soil is less because the microorganisms and decomposers get destroyed in the high temperature. Because the soil is exposed to continuous heat and also continuous rain, the microorganisms are supposed to die very soon, and also the acidic nature of soil plays a major important role in destroying the microorganisms. So the areas which is available in India is Assam, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Kerala. So the suitable crops for this kind of soil is tea, coffee, cashew, rubber and coconut, but there must be a suitable soil conservation measure to grow this kind of plants in that particular region. Next comes desert soil. Contains soluble salts that will be red to brown in color, originated by mechanical disintegration and wind deposit, because rain will be a rare thing. So the water will be very less in those regions. The soil will be porous and coarse. It contains 90% of sand and 5% of clay. rich in nitrates and phosphates, poor in nitrogen and humus. So again, this is friable, sandy, and low moist in content. So in India, it covers almost up to 1.4 lakh square kilometer. Next comes the areas which is available in India. The arid and semi-arid regions of Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab and Gujarat is having desert soil. Due to high temperature, dry climate, evaporation is faster and the soil lacks humus and moisture. After taking proper irrigation measure, this soil can be used for agriculture, which means you need to plan for proper water supply measures before starting agriculture in these regions. So you need to plant suitable crops. So here drought resistant crops like millets and barley are the suitable crops. Next comes mountain soil, found in hill slopes, formed by deposition of organic matter from forest, rich in humus, poor in potash and lime. So the areas which is present in India is Assam, Kashmir, Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. The suitable crops are tea, coffee, spices and tropical fruits. So this is the picture example of mountain soil. Saline and alkaline soil. So it contains salts like sodium, magnesium, and calcium. If the salinity of the soil increases, that will become infertile, which means that will become unfit for cultivation. Again, the soil will be from sandy to loamy in texture. So loamy represents presence of clay areas. So the areas which is present in India are parts of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Maharashtra. So this is an example image of saline soil. You can see that the salt is purely visible on the surface of the earth itself. So it will not be able to support even the growth of grass. Next comes Petian marshy soil. So it occurs in humid region, which means the region where the soil is available will be having very high humidity. So this is formed by accumulation of organic matter. This will be black in color, highly acidic, and the soil will be heavy in nature. So the areas in India which this kind of soil can be observed is Kottayam and Alapi in Kerala, coastal Odisha, Sundarbans of West Bengal. So here the left hand side, the left hand image shows you the peaty soil and the right hand image shows you marshy soil. The marshy soil will be always related to the soil that is present in waterlogged region. So the soil will be having very high salt content and rich, that will be rich in humus. Next comes soil erosion. So the soil erosion, in simple words, it says removal of topsoil by different agents. Either it can be natural agents and man-made agents. So what are all the causes? First one, deforestation, overgrazing, faulty method of agriculture, erosion by rivers, removal of topsoil for bricks, pots, tiles and other human uses, shifting cultivation patterns. Next, what are all the ill effects or the effects of soil erosion? Loss of cultivable land. Then next comes reduction in soil fertility. Causes silting may change river courses. The good example is River Ganga itself. Next, results in lots of runoff. The next reduces percolation of groundwater. So the first thing is loss of cultivable land. If the land is having rich soil for cultivation and due to soil erosion due to through flooding or wind, that will take away the rich soil from that place, so the land will become uncultivable, leading to cultivation loss. Next, in reduction in soil fertility, the fertile soil will be carried out by wind or flood. That particular region will have very less fertile soil, resulting in low production of agricultural output. Next, causes silting, which means if there is continuous silting in river basins, that will change the direction of river to flow in some other path than the regular path, resulting in flooding. Results in lots of runoff, which means when the soil surface is without proper cover, that will result in increased runoff of water that directly affects the percolation of groundwater which means the surface runoff water through rain will not be able to reach the groundwater through percolation properly. Next, this is the example image that will show you the ill effect of soil erosion. Due to soil erosion, this particular area will not be able to support good crops, even forest, shrubs and herbs to be grown. Next, soil conservation. So the soil conservation is important topic. Here there is few listed topics that can be that are carried out in India. Protection of soil from erosion and deterioration. So the measures for soil conservation are contour forming, mulching, which means they will be spreading of grass or leaves on ground near the cultivated area, or they will cover it with the polythene wrapper. To avoid quick water evaporation, and afforestation and reforestation are good measures. Next comes controlled grazing and construction of dams and barrages to supply regular water for cultivation and agriculture purposes. Crop rotation, subsoiling and terrace farming. The next image, the top left image shows you contour forming. So if the land is sloped, so that can be divided as steps for agricultural practices. Again, if the then the top right image shows you the polythene wrapper which is covered in the cultivated zone, so that will be called as mulching. So by this process we can reduce the evaporation of water which is supplied to the plants which are grown. Then next comes subsoiling is shown in the lower left image. So here that will create, the subsoiling method will create heaps of soil in the cultivable land, and in this heaps the crops will be planted. Then tabletop, so the lower right image shows terrace cultivation or tabletop cultivation. Here the entire hilly region will be divided into steps of different elevations, and this kind of farming will stop a soil erosion to the considerable amount. Thank you for your patience. The next topic will be streams and types of streams. And again, I thank all the valuable works of the intellectual peoples, those who have posted their contents online, and I'm using that same content to prepare this presentation. Best of luck.